A lot of fun. We that's what it's supposed to feel like in the PMAC. That's what we want it to feel like every time we go in there, and just we needed that. We just really needed a good shot in the arm and a good step forward. Essentially, what was our second meet of the year in a lot of ways because of the interruptions and things of that nature. It was a good confidence builder for them. We got tight early on the first two events, but they settled down and they really started looking like what we see day in and day out in the gym, and that was exciting to see. That's a big step forward in terms of what a team that's growing in their maturity and ability to do that. It was a tight meet. Auburn's a good team, and that was it was just a lot of fun. Just a lot of fun to have our fans come out on Saturday like that and be there for us. It really was a big effect for us because we had to finish strong, and they gave us the juice to be able to do that.
Coach, when you're going into a top 10 meet like this against, a team like Auburn, do you feel like that adds pressure? Do you feel like that gets the team more excited, more
Yeah,
motivated?
I think we crave it. I think generally around here, our teams kind of they like to go against the better teams. The challenge is you can't always do that, and you don't ever want to compete differently against an opponent that maybe is not quite the caliber of Auburn. But in this conference, now that we're in conference right now, there's a lot of good teams. I mean, Kentucky went mid 197 last night. Missouri's gone 197 something last night. There's not an easy out anywhere in this conference anymore, and it's just a testament to the overall health of our sport and the growth and the popularity of what's going on. A lot of good coaches, a lot of good programs, a lot of good support, and so it's a challenge, but they rise to it. They love it. And getting in front of people, they like to show off. I mean, it's just kind of getting in front of that many people. That's fun, right? In doing it in practice, that was the whole thing for 3 weeks. We just couldn't get into that environment. And you try to duplicate it in the gym, but when people come in the gym and sitting in the balcony, even if it's just a few of them, it raises their level a little bit. I've always noticed that, and so just really proud of the effort that they gave and the camaraderie that we saw, when we had a mistake on beam and Kaya gets up there and closes it out for us on beam and really propelled us forward. And getting her back is tremendous. We got to be careful because, at the end I was looking at the score like, do we have it? Are we taking an undue risk here? I'm always thinking about that because in March and April we need to her to be as pain-free as possible and able to manage that situation. So I just didn't want to push it too far, but I'm so glad it worked out. And it's not bad for your first floor routine on the spring floor. And the biggest thing about her, I'm rambling here. I do that, right, Cobble? She has finally learned to trust herself. She tumbles on the rod floor, which is a more forgiving surface almost 100% of the time. And just getting her to trust the athlete that she is and that she can make that adjustment without having to hit that surface so many times. And I think she's finally trusting that and understands she can attack it and be free of worry of whether or not it's going to feel the same as it does on the rod floor.
So, with the timing of it so close, did you think for a second of not putting her out there on floor since you had?
I was looking at it. I was getting Garrett. That used to be my job. I was always whispering in Dee Dee's ear. Where we were, what the score was, so that we could, kind of know where things were. And I was like, Garrett, can they get us? And he's like, it's SUNY. If they got a 10, they could tie us. And I said, well, we got to go. And really, we needed to go anyway, regardless of whether the meet was in hand anyway, because the idea is for her to be able to go again at Florida next week and to get one under her belt at home was important. But the thought did cross my mind that if the meet was sewn up, that maybe we don't. But I'm glad we did, and I'm glad it worked out.
I'm sure you can find as a coach, this could be better, that could be better, but you pretty much got everything you said the other day you wanted. You had an SRO crowd. You had a great performance. You got the win.
Yeah.
May or may not be the highest score in the country this week, but
I'm
sure you don't. Okay, well, you don't care. Yeah, as long as you don't care that much. But I mean, really, it rarely comes together like that, right? I mean,
no, it does more than you think. Well, the crowd I can't control, but we do inter squads prior to competitions all the time, and when we're going really well, we can almost predict. We'll score the inter squad in the gym, and we're generally within a tenth or two of what we did in the gym. And today it was the exact same score we did in our inter squad. I mean, the exact same 197.975. I mean, it came from different places than it did in the inter squad, but at the end result was the same. And so. Yeah, we did get everything we wanted. Got the win, which I told you was what, if I had to pick between a score and a win, when you're at LSU and you're in the SEC, you go with the win. But we got both, and that's just a big leap forward for us.
A couple of things I don't think I've ever seen. I've never seen you cheer when the other team is on, to get the crowd up. But what was more impressive was the floor. Just everyone threw up a 9.9 or better.
Yeah.
I know Aaliyah had the deduction, but to go out, it's a pretty good way to go out.
It is, and the energy. I was trying. I knew it was tied after 3 events. I mean, what more could you ask for out of a meet going into the final rotation, and it's neck and neck. And the energy in there was great. And I was just trying to continue to get the build up and the fans. I'm telling you, in our sport, I can only speak to the way our kids respond to that energy from their fans, but it is tremendous in terms of the difference that it makes for them, just from a confidence standpoint and the energy they give off. KJ Johnson was struggling in warm-ups, and she went out there with that crowd behind her and just banged one out. It was pretty cool.
As far as having Suni Lee in the building, how big was it for your team to compete against that and for the crowd to see it firsthand?
Yeah, a lot of them know her personally. They've been friends a long time. She's real close to Alona and Olivia Dunn, and I don't know, so Leah Finnegan. They've all been buddies. They've all trained together over the years and that kind of thing. She's a great kid, just a super nice human being, and I found it a little bit disheartening that Suni Lee got the largest applause of anybody in the room and over our own kids. So we might need to get a little more enthusiasm in the intros. No, but that's true everywhere they go. I mean, she's the reigning gold medalist, right? So that's she's a superstar, and Dancing with the Stars and all those things that she's been involved in. So everywhere she goes, it's the Suni parade.
Jay, a quick word about your two super seniors, Desiderio Durante.
Oh. I told y'all earlier in the week that Desiderio doesn't get the credit she deserves for being the table setter she was, and it was nice to see her finally get scored at the level that she does those routines. I mean, a lot of times you put a kid first up, and it's kind of like take one for the team is the way they feel, and but those judges saw the quality of that gymnastics she did, and she's amazing. And Sammy doing what she did on beam, she's growing in her confidence. It's hard to say, it's hard to believe that because as a fifth year senior, you'd think if anybody's confident, it would be them. But Sammy has a tendency to beat herself up a little bit, and so that's 2 weeks in a row she's been able to get up there and do a nice job on balance beam. They're the super seniors, as people love to call them, have really done a good job here, particularly in the last week or so, of kind of pulling the team together and really meshing with the other leadership in the room, and they've done a great job.
Any more questions for Coach?
That's it.